3D printing news Unpeeled. And today we're going to talk to you about, well, about a grant. So, the Engineering and Physical Sciences Research Council, the EPRSRC of the UK, has awarded the team of Nottingham University £6 million. The £6 million goes to the Centre for Additive Manufacturing, or CFAM, and is meant to develop a toolkit for the NHS and the medical kind of industries and participants in the medical industry to try to hasten the adoption of 3D printing in the clinical setting, specifically with customized medical devices, tailored medical devices made using 3D printing. The idea is to look at areas such as regenerative medicine therapy, cell therapy, and other areas. And this goes to Ricky Wildman and other people at Nottingham. And it's another thing of cementing Nottingham's leading role in 3D printing in the UK. University of Nottingham has really turned itself into a 3D printing powerhouse, especially in the way of funding and doing some really cutting edge stuff. It used to be just Loughborough and some other universities, and then Nottingham is doing a really great job of getting a lot of attention, a lot of big programs to it. And it also, it's an interesting thing to try to say, okay, we're going to have more of a waypoint kind of toolkit type of approach where we're going to, kind of guide companies into helping these devices be made. I think, that could be a really fruitful approach if they do it right. The next thing is that there's a company called, it's either called IMcoMet or IMcoMet, and it is developing a skin cancer treatment. We're using microneedles and microfluidics. So what they're doing is they're trying to degrade the tumor's microenvironment, which will then hopefully help the body to provoke an immune response and destroy the tumor. They call this thing as M-Duo technology. It uses really tiny needles, if you can see the illustration in front of you, in a patch. And this is, and one needle is going to inject a carrier fluid, and the other one sucks it out of the skin. Now, this patch means that these really, really tiny needles, like 100 millimeter or 100 micron diameter, are made in parallel, 20 to 40 microns in distance. So very, very small, very, very you need to be really, really accurate to be able to produce things. And the company making these devices, or the technology uses Boston Microfabrication, or BMF. So a big win for BMF this, because this could, in and of itself, become a huge treatment. And what's more, microfluidics has the ability to deliver a substance in the right proportion or mixed in the right way at a particular moment, really very, very precisely. And to dose very, very precisely and accurately that thing. So you could think of taking something that's really toxic or very expensive and that needs to be delivered at a right exact point, and doing that with a lot of medical systems, a lot of organ systems, and a lot of different treatments. So I think that rather than just this one company doing this could really open up a lot of clinical kind of applications where people are trying to dose things very, very accurately, especially if it's close to the skin, or especially if it's very toxic, very dangerous, or something like that. So, I really think it's a great example of some stuff that could be happening and could happen a lot more extensively. The next news is that Sartorius has bought a total of, or now owns a total of 10% of the BICO group. BICO, formerly known as CellInc, was a bioink company that very quickly grew and very quickly went public. Very quickly had a very high-flying share price. And it acquired a whole bunch of companies, and it seemed inevitable until some missed expectations, some management infighting brought it very, very much down to earth. To give you an idea, it's traded in Sweden. The stock price on September 21 was around 589 Swedish kronor SEK. It collapsed to 32, around 32 in July 2022, and now it's trading at 116. So this has been quite a wild ride. I think maybe people may be a bit surprised that the BICO has actually caught back up. A lot of people thought BICO was essentially done for. They really thought it was like a spent force. And this is a remarkable resurgence, especially since if you look at the stock, if you look at the indicators, look at us, margins are low, there's a loss. It seems quite tough going. And it seems like the business picture is not, it doesn't seem very, very great, by the way, especially things like the margin picture and all that sort of stuff. But there's a lot of IP there, and then there's a lot of businesses that company bought, and there could be a lot of value here, and that's kind of shored up here by Sartorius. Sartorius itself is now going to enter into a research collaboration with BICO, and is going to distribute BICO products in Asia Pacific. They spent about 45 million getting US or euros, or about 487 million SEK, getting well, it's stake now in BICO, which is very, very cheap if you look at the valuation the company had a couple of years ago. But still, 45 million is a reasonably doable investment for Sartorius. And also, as an investor, they don't really take on a lot of this liability or any kind of task in managing the group, at least not for now. I mean, I think given that Sartorius itself does cell lines, cell therapy, culture media, everything around that kind of devices, technologies, consumables that enable other researchers, it's a match made in heaven, this whole BICO thing for them. And it looks like a logical extension and a quite affordable amount extension of Sartorius into bioprinting and more regenerative medicine stuff they have already. So I'm pretty sure this can be seen as kind of like a place, either opportunistic, that Selleck really needed the money, really needed to stop the bleeding, and really needed some kind of an even keeled approach. And this is just rather opportunistic. That's one way of looking at it. The other way of looking at it, as this is like a placeholder kind of thing, where Sartorius is saying, well, let's hold on to it for a couple of quarters and see what we can do, and then we maybe buy it. The whole thing. It looks really like a really logical purchase for Sartorius. It really would complement their business very well. And let's not forget all the stuff that BICO bought. I mean, they bought, BICO has, about a 3,500 clients, right? It's got a whole bunch of 3D printing technologies, from like inkjet to kind of more material extrusion type technology, to lift, and all sorts of technologies that are from the most cheapest one to really incredibly contrived ones. And at one point, like, it purchased Nanoscribe for 70 million, Biosera for 165 million US, right? Syneon for 94 million, right? So now its market cap, even with the purchase and a kind of a little bit of a rebound, it's still, the market cap's only like around 700 million at the highest at the point right now. So, given that, the whole investment by Sartorius is quite doable, looks quite advantageous for them, and could give them a lot of new businesses. If they're just there to buy BICO once they're very profitable with them, or once they're very happy with them, they could really have a ton more products they can sell to their existing clients, cross-sell a lot of new products, and really be on the cutting edge of this 3D printing thing. So, bioprinting thing. So I think, yeah, this is a really good move for them, and I think it's really useful for BICO to have somebody in their corner right now like this. They've had like cooperation agreements with AstraZeneca and all this, but really, like, the one of the most logical partner players in the world to buy them would be either like Roche or maybe Sartorius. So this is I think a good move for both of them. And that's the news for today. My name is Joris Peels, and this is another edition of 3D Printing News.